All right. We are back. I don't know what happened, but I guess we're having some issues here. And now my computer is back up. Hopefully it will stay connected. That's just kind of crazy that it cut out like that. But anyhow, it's probably because my main. Hopefully it will stay connected. That's just kind of.
What's going on?
That's me. I think
Oh, I'm on YouTube as well. How's that?
Did you mute me?
Is that where I'm supposed to be to talk to people? Is on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I can hold on. Let me do that, and then I can mute it. I think. Talk to people. Okay. Oh.
I know, right? I know. That's why I'm like,
Nobody wants to see that.
Right? Nobody wants to hear that mess. It's like,
So I have to be over there in order to talk to people. Where's my voice going? Of course, that's where it's going, right? Is this it? Oh, I can wait. I have to sign in. What is happening?
If you click on the public link I gave you, it doesn't come up with the thing.
Yeah, I think this is it. There. Did I say it? I said hello?
Mm-hmm. There you are.
Oh, this is weird.
Hey. We'll get our acts together.
I feel like I need a drink.
Right? Just to get this thing set up. YouTube is a big old beast. I mean, it's technology. It's fine. Right, so.
I'm not so good with it. I use my computer for Word and to surf.
Yeah, book research. There you go.
Don't look at my history.
Right, exactly. You had that friend that has to come over. Something happens to you.
Oh, yeah.
More Smarties.
Oh, yes. I love this.
My dessert.
Before it was politically incorrect, we used to, when I was teaching, we would do trivia, to study. And if you got it right, you'd get Smarties. And if you got the answer wrong, you get Dum-Dums. But then all of a sudden, somebody complained I was calling their kid a Dum-Dum. So that was the beginning of the end. It's like, I'm not teaching anymore.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was cute.
They're delicate sensibilities.
Delicate flowers.
I mean, really, people. I was called worse, I'm sure, growing up. It hadn't hurt me, so.
Yeah, for real.
You have thick skin.
Mm.
Yeah, so we were talking about Christine's writing, and she said that that it usually takes her 6 months to a year to write a book, but you wrote which one?
3 days of rain.
A month?
3 days, no, 4 months. 3 days of rain took 4 months.
Oh,
so it was quick. That one just was like this. It just came. But yeah, the other ones like Operation One Night Stand and Operation Foreplay, those were about 6 months each. Torn was almost a year, and Darkness Betrayed this was almost a year as well. Then I have the novella Lead Me Not that I originally published under a pen name because it's erotica. I know. So scandalous. But when I published it under my name, my mom had a heart attack. She's like, I read the first page. I couldn't read any more than the first page. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, my grandma read Operation One Night Stand, and she's a pretty bawdy old lady too, man. She read 50 Shades, and she couldn't I'm like, this is nothing. This is just ladies talking. But maybe it's because me. But anyway, so then that one didn't take me long because that was a novella. That's like 20,000 words. That didn't take long. And then I have another one under my pen name, Olivia Harper. So don't tell anybody. very
to
complicated steps. It's a stepbrother erotica. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I kind of go around the block with my whatever I want to write.
Paranormal, romantic comedy, and erotica.
Yeah, my agent is probably like, we just fix and stick with something. So.
Yes. I have some of those like that. I have one that writes new adult. She'll write new adult, romantic comedy, new adult for romance, and then she'll write sci-fi. And I'm like, knock it off.
Yeah, I just kind of have to write what kind of comes. And it's funny because I'm writing a book now, and she and I, went over how I should, not how I should write it, but kind of like, plotting it out and stuff like that. And I have this idea in my head, like I want to do like 3 Days of Rain it's a tearjerker. And I want to do that again. And she's like, maybe we should just make everybody happy at the end. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
Right. I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, so I don't know, because Operation One Night Stand and Operation Foreplay were picked up by Hachette. So we want to kind of see if we can get back into those publishers again. So I think they have rules. Unlike, like CHBB, they're so very open. Like, if I told Sarah tomorrow, I'm going to write a children's book and then I'm going to write an erotica the next day, and she's like, hey man, whatever floats your boat, as long as it's good, we'll take it. If it's not good, you're going to have to fix it. But I feel like some of the bigger publishers, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've had, but they have their lot more rules, a little narrower view of how they want things done.
Yes, they're very picky. The big wigs, they have a set thing, but that's because that's their corner market, and they have pushed themselves into. Dave, I see your question. I'll ask it in just a second, but they've pushed themselves into that hole, and they're not going to climb out of it anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because that's what makes the money, I suppose. So why fix? It's not broken.
Right. So
Dave is asking, I don't know if you see it. He's asking, what advice do you have for pretend authors?
Pretend.
Pretend. I guess does that mean you've written your first? What does that pretend mean? That want to approach people with a book concept. What is that first?
What's a concept? Well, the advice that I was given is just, first of all, just write the book. If it's fiction, is just write the book. If it's nonfiction and you have some sort of a platform, then you can, approach before most of the time that it's written. But just write the book. And I remember Sin Baylog, who she's a writer, and I met her and I talked to her and I was like, oh, I want to write a book, and she's like, oh, that's great. And then later on, when I finished Torn, I contacted her again, and she's like, you just became an I did. Instead of an I want to, or I'm gonna, you just became an I did. And that's when, I sent her my book, she gave me feedback, she, all the stuff, went over it with me. But you get a lot of that, and it's, you need to become an I did. You need to just kind of buckle up and do it. And it was funny because she didn't approach me that way in the beginning of it. It wasn't until the end. She just, was very calm and very, very cordial and very nice. And, oh, that's great. It sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a great concept. And then it was, congratulations, you did it. And that's the only thing I can tell anybody. Everybody, I think, has a book in them, but they just need to sit down and do it. And I should probably take that advice at this point.
Figure out which one you want to write it.
I know. Oh my God. My agent's Michelle Johnson from Inklings is my agent, and she's probably, I'll send her something and she'll probably be like, holy cow, hell just froze over. Christine finished a book.
She actually did it.
I know. Oh my God. I don't understand how some people can just write so fast. Like you get a book a month, a book every 6 weeks, a book every 2 months. I'm like, how the heck do you do that? And keep it, I don't know, good. Keep your plot clear. Keep your details in check. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people are writing over top of one another. I have some authors that write pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And their ideas, they come up with new ideas for stuff every day, but they can write, like one a month or something ridiculous. And yes, a certain author that's commenting under her business name here in the live chat, she takes forever. And so she's longer than you, actually. It's been 2 years since her first book released, and she's done a novella since then. And that's it. She's written some stuff. She's not like in the same bit, as you. Like she's written several words, several thousand words, but hasn't completed anything. And I'm like, will you please write? She's got 3 books. Oh, well, I take that back. She did write another novella for an anthology we put out earlier. Sorry, Deborah. So she's got 2 novellas and, well, it's kind of like a little short. Anyway, and then a full-length novel. And so she's written these 3, different ideas, but hasn't completed any of them. And I'm like, hello. Yeah. Would you like to complete something one of these days? It takes her a while. And then her editor is really, really slow. And so it's like waiting on a slug to cross your path, to get her.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so I have all kinds of speeds of writing, one that takes forever. And then but I have a couple of those that have started several ideas but haven't completed any of them. And then I have 2 or 3 of them that can write, just spit out a book every month, every 3 months, every month. It's crazy, insane how quickly. Yeah. But I guess it just depends on how much time a day you have to be able to write and how fast the idea and the words come to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm an editor while I'm in the seat. Like I can't write it and leave any red. Like I can't have misspellings. And then once or twice, unfortunately, twice a week sometimes, I'll go back and start from the beginning and read and just add, subtract, fix my spelling, fix my grammar, fix any plot holes. And then by the time I get to the end, I'm like, oh, it's 6 hours later. I got to get the kids from school now.
Right, because you've already been, you've been working on it, but it's not like you've been.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, I have 3 with 30,000. Those 30,000 are some perfect words right now. They're just, it's not going anywhere, but it's some pretty perfect words right now.
That would be hard to be able to write and edit at the same, and have that urge to edit at the same time. That's kind of like, you got to get that part out of your head first and then go back and do it. I don't know. It'd be hard to retrain yourself. Sorry, my hair drives me nuts, and I usually play with it at least 2 or 3 times during the show. It'll come out of the ponytail, and I live in the South. Obviously, in the South, and the humidity, especially now after that hurricane, and then that one that's hanging out in the Atlantic, it's like my hair does not want to cooperate at all. Hence the ponytail, which is what I wear most days. Just, Monica on Friends. Did you ever see that episode when they went to that island somewhere, and her hair was like me. Put it in a ponytail. Anyway, hair problems, girl problems. I don't know. Anyway, so at least, but that's 90,000 words you have to play around with in some form or fashion. At least you can't say that you haven't done anything. You just have to put more to them. Did I lose you? Dave, does that answer your question? Oh, Christina's frozen again. Are we frozen? Can y'all still hear me? Okay, good. Okay, cool. Christine's frozen. Hey, stalking is me. Donna, are you signed in to me? Oh, Christine just dropped, so there she comes back. Hopefully.
Are you back?
There you are.
My
Yay.
lights flickered, and then everything went crazy.
It's paranormal happening in your house.
Tell me, write that third damn book. That's what it's saying.
Right? Exactly. You got to get it out there. We want it now, dagnabbit.
I know.
Are your paranormal? Is it like vampires? Is it spirits? Is it what kind of paranormal?
Angels. Angels.
Oh, fun.
Well, I talk about it makes the Catholics mad, but
oh well.
Sister Maria would be like, oh, I went to Catholic school, so maybe this is me rebelling, but it was almost I almost rewrote the fall of Lucifer. How it really wasn't his fault. It was somebody else was behind it, and he took the fall. And he's trying, and he's kind of mad, and coming back for some little payback, a little redemption, a little something, and it's not working out too good for him. But the main character in those two books is a girl named Samantha, and he comes in the second book. So the first book kind of leads up to him. Sebastian is the bad guy in the first book, and then you find out what he has to do with Damien, who is Lucifer, the fallen, in the second book. So it was fun to write. It was pretty cool. It was interesting. It was kind of, I was watching a lot of Vampire Diaries, and it's funny how TV shows do this to you. Watching Vampire Diaries, and we were binge watching with the kids the Clone Wars cartoon. So you have like the Force, the light in the dark. You have the Vampire Diaries with the girl and the two brothers. So they're not brothers, Sebastian and Damien, but there's two guys eventually, and then there's other. You know, it's interesting the way that I don't know. I didn't even realize I was doing it. My husband he read it, and he's like, "What are you, a Jedi?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "What are you doing the Force?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing the Force." He's reading it. I'm like, "Oh my God, I read the Force in the book."
Whatever works. Yeah. Whatever influences make the book, right?
Yeah, but yeah, man, that Clone Wars, that was a great show. It was a great little cartoon.
I've never, well, I don't watch much TV, of course, because I'm reading or doing my blog stuff, and so I'm not, my kids, if the TV is on in the house, my kids usually have it on like Disney Junior or something.
Yeah.
My husband has the remote, it's on ESPN or the Golf Channel.
Yeah.
So I don't get to see a lot of real TV, such as it might be. So I haven't seen anything in like years. My oldest child she'll be 9 this month. In 9 years, I have not really watched any TV. When she was an infant, we still watched stuff. But when she started to get older and pay attention to the television, we stopped watching, or at least, that it was on like Sprout or, Disney Junior and that kind of thing. And so I haven't watched adult television in 9 years.
Yeah, wow.
Thereabouts. It's been a long time. So I have no like clue. Everybody talks about like Sons of Anarchy, and they talk about like The Walking Dead, all this stuff, and I'm like, I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, people get all weirded out when I tell them I've only seen like half an episode of Game of Thrones. I don't know.
I've never seen any of it, so whatever. It's I mean, I'm sure it probably might be fascinating.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I get lost in my Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder and all that stuff.
There you go.
Shondaland, Shonda Rhimes.
That's good research.
Yeah, it is for sure good research. And you know, when I was writing Operation One Night Stand and Operation Foreplay, I was binge watching Sex and the City during the time. So these are younger girls, friends. It's not really set in New York. You know, one of them works in New York. But yeah, it's about three friends, but it's that friendship kind of sexy, raunchy humor, pink locker room talk, I call it.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cocktails. There's cocktail recipes at the end of those books. They're fun.
And that's published with Forever. Right.
No,
Yeah.
no, these didn't take too long. The third one is taking forever, yeah.
Just like the third in the Torn.
Yeah,
Series.
as yet to be titled book. Yes.
And then you had that. Is your third one that you're working on? Well, that you started.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a brand new or is it another follow-up?
Well, I have the one that's the third is because the Operation books are standalone books because they're each about a different main character, but they're all friends. Like the first one was Caroline's book, the second one is Melody's book, the third one is Sarah's book, and Sarah's who I'm writing now. And I don't have my working title because we have Operation One Night Stand, Operation Foreplay. Right now I'm at Operation Cohabitate because she moves in with her boyfriend. And then it's like she freaks out and, you know, oh my God, there's a boy mess and there's boy toothbrush in my room and, you know, he makes boy messes and all this other stuff. She's a teacher, so she's going to be fun because I was the teacher, so I'm going to be able to pull that experience into it, just make it raunchier because I was married when I was a teacher, so there was really no raunch involved in my teaching. But it happened around me. So
Yeah.
as happens, I guess, in workplaces. But so yeah, that'll be the third one. Then I'm working on one that right now the working title, I call it Sam and Maggie. But my agent and I kind of came up with, I think, 100 Memories because then we came up with a trilogy for it. But Sam and Maggie is they're the ones that I would like to destroy a little bit and give the big tears. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe they'll end up together, maybe not. And then the other one that I'm working on is, right now it's called Jester. I plotted, I don't want to say plotted because I'm not really I'm not a plotter. But I have blurbs of 7 different books for a specific series. And it's all, there's Jester, there's Bishop, there's Duke, there's Bianca Queen. Like, so it's all that, almost like chess pieces.
I was just going to say, it's a game of chess.
Yeah, Royal Court, like all of that. So that's fun to work on. A few years back, I started writing, I wanted to do and then there were none kind of thing. And I haven't touched that thing in like 3 years, but that's another one that has about 40,000 words, but I killed everybody by 40,000. And I'm like, I still need another like 30 to go. You can I just went through them and chop everybody off, you know, like all in the order that they were supposed to be killed. And then I'm like, I don't have
some filler in here.
Yeah, I don't have enough words. So I gotta go figure out 30,000. It just sits there because it's not where I want it. It's kind of like where I want it, but it's not. It's almost like I don't know. I feel almost like it's like a little, like, I don't know, kids coming out of the water, and I don't know. It's weird. So that one just sits. I mean, I have a ton of whips on my laptop, but there's 3 that I'm focusing on now that I need to narrow down to 1. Okay.
There's always something. It's always something.
Yeah. It's always something. It's always something. So.
I don't, for those of you that are listening, Donna says she hears an echo, but I don't hear an echo, so I don't know if it's just her computer or if it's just, anyway, hopefully it'll work itself out. There's always some kind of issues, you know, I mean.
Sorry.
What can you do? It's, you know, you're working with free software.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, so what is going to be your next push? I mean, I know you're working on 3 at one time, but what do you think you're going to finish first?
I don't know because there's 3 so different. One is completely rom-com, like ridiculous, raunchy, girls talking about sex humor. And then I have Sam and Maggie, which is very like an emotional, like tug at your heartstrings, and that's fun. That one starts off. They were, yeah. It starts off like it opens up like their relationship when they were young, and then there's no relationship, and then later on, what happens? And then Jester is just all out like something. Jester is closer to what I actually read. I don't read romance books ever. And it's not that I don't want to read them. I just don't gravitate that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been, I've read, the James Patterson. I read J.D. Robb. Like I just picked up American Assassin. Like I want to read all that kind of stuff. And it's so weird that I don't write that. So Jester and All the Queen's Men, which is where the working titles, I'm trying to go that direction a little bit. So it's about like an assassin's guild, and they're all different characters and all different players in the game, and what goes on with them. And it's kind of fun because I get to write some, do some research on some, how you're going to kill somebody with a knife, and what kind of fighting are you going to do, and what kind of gun will do this, and if you're going to conceal this, what would you do, and then you have obviously in that kind of, I guess, job or whatever, you always have the crazy ones, like you're rooting for them, but they're freaking out of their mind and stuff. So those are fun guys to write too, because you're like, let's just see how depraved I can make this guy and still make him halfway likable.
Mm-hmm, like Dexter. Did you ever see? Yes. I did watch Dexter way back.
Oh, I love Dexter. Oh my God, and he was the worst serial killer ever, and everybody just loved him. But yeah, almost like that. Like you want to make this. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? You don't know. You just want to make sure that he ends up at the end with the girl that he's supposed to end up with, and he kills all the people he's supposed to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're all supposed to be gone, and here we
are.
So
those, I mean, I always lean that way because I also have playlists for everything I work on. And that one's got like a super fun and funky playlist where it's like loud and obnoxious and like, just constant.
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. A lot of that. So that one's more fun to write. Like, I feel like Sam and Maggie might give the emotional whatever that people are looking for, because I guess the book I'm most known for is 3 Days of Rain. That came out in 2013, and I still get email about it. I still get messages about it. People finding this book and, they're crying, or were you ever hugged as a child? What's wrong with you? I love it. That whole thing. So, I don't know. So Sam and Maggie would do that for me. The Operation book would go back to the Big Five, would go back to Hachette and get me back in there. Jester would probably just be just amazing and fun to finish up. So I don't know. I think I'll probably go with Jester, but we'll see.
Well, I guess it's whatever's speaking to you the most at the moment, but that sounds like that would be a fun book to read, much less, one to write.
Yeah. It's a lot of research because I don't know how to kill people. You know what I mean? And I have all these assassins, or, and what they're doing and what they do. And so it's really fun. I like it.
Yeah, you have to hang out at the police station, ask about all these.
I could do that. What a good idea. Doesn't the FBI have like in one of
profilers?
Yeah, but don't is it Thriller Fest? Don't they have a class or something? Thriller Fest, I think, is in New York.
Maybe so.
And there's like one day where you get to go spend with like the FBI and like the police, and then they go through like procedure and what to do. I could do that.
Deborah Presley. I don't know if you know Deborah, but she's also an author. She's the one I was talking about right below. She said, I know someone she could talk to. Her brother. I'm assuming, is that who you're talking about? Your brother? He's at EMS.
Okay.
And so I'm sure he sees all kinds of creative stuff for
Yeah.
his, the way people, and he's in New York, there's all kinds of craziness in New York.
All kinds of crazy in New York. That's why I love going there. Hour train ride. I love it.
Yeah. When I have a good friend that's been on the police. He's a police officer. He's been an author. She said no, an author. Anyway, so I had a friend. One of my friends is a police officer. He's been on the police force for 22 years. So, I mean, I'm sure he's probably seen quite a bit of stuff too. But anyway, I'm sure, the FBI probably the researching. Can you? But really, I guess you'd have to go to your local office if you could find local FBI office, so they wouldn't think you were
sure. I live, Trenton is the capital of New Jersey. I live right here. Now I have
ideas.
I know. Everybody's gonna have to.
I don't know any. I have a lot of friends from New Jersey, and I'm just trying to think. Do I know anybody that's in law enforcement in New Jersey? But
I feel like I know a ton of everybody. I turn around, everybody's a cop, or their brother's a cop, or their dad's a cop, or their cousin's a cop, or something. It's my township, though. I don't have to go to reunions. I can just go to Acme, go to the grocery store, and be like, "Hey, class of '94, I see you."
Right? Exactly. Now tell me, how do you kill somebody?
I know.
You describe this. If I was an assassin, what would?
Yeah, that was some fun research. I have, and it's funny because I don't plot, but I've started because, when I wrote 3 Days of Rain, it's basically 3 main characters, and Torn, you have a couple of main characters, you know what I mean? But Operation One Night Stand, it was the 3 girls, but it was constant and I knew that each book had to be with somebody else. So once I introduced them, I had to take notes because I can't have the blue eyes here and then the green eyes here, because then somebody will slam me on it. Somebody will find it and stick it in a review. Doesn't she know her characters? So I started taking notes, and then I'm taking all these notes with Jester because I'm like, okay, let me introduce this guy, and let me introduce this one, and this girl, and this. I'm like, oh my God, I got to keep them all together. So I started taking all these notes. So then I started taking notes on how to kill people. And I'm telling my husband, I'm like, don't worry.
Right? I'm not going to use this on you.
Yeah, this isn't for you. But if I wanted to make it look like an accident.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? Something's going to happen, and I'm like, they're going to use this. They're going to come back and get me.
Well, that's the hard part. It's I had Lily White on here last week, and that's her stuff. I don't know if you've ever read her, but she just thrillers and some other of those kind of things. She has to kill people quite creatively.
Yeah.
And she worked for as a paralegal for years and years and years. And so, and both of her parents were attorneys, so she knows, a bunch of those type cases where you hear all that kind of stuff. Use it to make your way now, because you've got all those kind of stories.
Yeah, for real.
She has a motorcycle book, just one that she wrote just to write it, and she interviewed someone that she knows personally that's in a motorcycle club about how they would kill somebody. If the character, if somebody did such and such and such and such, how would you get rid of them? Well, he detailed it for her, and she used it in the book. I was like, oh gosh, let's not ever make this motorcycle club mad at anything. Because
no. If anybody dies this way, it was not the guy that told me how to do it.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I don't know. I would not divulge my sources, but
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that, but my kids are playing video games and they're screaming like they're being murdered right now.
I can hear them. It's funny because I was like, yeah, she's talking about an assassin. And there's one in her house. Oh well, that's all right. Yeah, so that would be a cool way to see if you get somebody at the FBI to help you with the research, and or even a police force, because they have detectives that do, or even crime scene investigators. Shoot, I'm sure they know The coroner, your county coroner.
Mm-hmm. And you got to watch all those shows like NCIS.
Yep, CSI.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, there's like 5 million of those.
Yeah, but I need it from like the opposite end, I guess, because I need it from the actual killer dude person.
Well, that's where the profiler would come in,
Yes.
because they think into the mind of the killer.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I could handle that job. But then I can write about it, and that's okay.
Right? Exactly. Well, you would think they would go crazy, you know, with that kind of those thoughts, but it's kind of like I've often said, the difference between an author and a person with schizophrenia is the author puts the words down on paper.
Yes.
You know, the voices in your head.
Yeah.
Type it out.
I know for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So somebody that has that kind of job, they don't. Maybe it's when they type up their report, they get it out.
Yeah.
To keep it.
I know.
That'd be kind of great.
Well, Jeffrey Dahmer action.
Exactly.
You don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some craziness. It is 9 o'clock.
Ah.
And this one lasted way longer than our first edition.
That's true.
Well, I do want to say thank you for coming on, so the public knows this is my faux pas. I totally didn't, because, you know, I work from home, I don't really pay attention to the days. So it's just another day, right? And so Donna that puts together the shows for me, she's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap. And so we totally just were like, all right, well, let's see if Christy's going to be able to make it. So thank you for able to come on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Really, I just kind of like tossed it in your lap. Hello, remember me?
No, it's okay. It's fun. I like it. Then maybe I'll come back when I have another book out. Maybe that'll give me some incentive to move my butt and write something.
There you go. And then we can talk about whatever it is.
Yeah.
The assassins, your research.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll have like notes.
Yeah. It'll be right. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say about all that stuff.
Yeah. Know? That'll be cool.
And for your romantic comedy book, you could always probably interview taxi cab drivers, because, you know, I'm sure they've probably had plenty of experience.
Oh my God. I'm sure. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I always wanted to write a comedy about like lifeguards, like almost like Baywatch, but not that, but like the Jersey Shore, because it's just hysterical, the Jersey Shore and all the lifeguards there. I don't know. I just think it's really funny. Somebody needs to write that book. I don't have time.
There you go. Add it to your long list of to-dos.
Yeah, for real. Oh, well. I'll get it done.
Yes. Our lifeguards here are Russian.
Huh.
So it's a little, the company that employs the lifeguards for the beach here hire them from Russia, and they come for the summer and then they go back home.
Oh,
so I'm sure it's quite entertaining.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
They get their work visas for this.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, people trying to pick them up on the beach. I mean, I'm sure, you know, I mean,
yeah,
they barely speak enough English to get, I mean, they speak enough to get by, but really, that's got to be kind of crazy, you know, people trying to pick them up.
That's funny.
It's whatever. I mean, I'm sure they make more money here than they would in Russia for a year for, you know, entire 3 months for summer. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know Wildwood, like everybody there is from Europe. Everybody that works all the rides, that works on the boardwalk and all of that, they're all from Europe. So they have to make more money here than there if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, whatever works.
Yep.
But I'm sure they have some hilarious stories.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. For real.
Oh, goodness me. Well, I would chat longer. I'm surprised. I was just looking at my phone. I'm surprised my husband hadn't messaged me to say, it's after 9 o'clock. Are you done? Because the kids have to go to school. tomorrow, and they have to go to sleep.
Oh yeah, I'll be getting that message in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Hello.
You're done killing the game, so now it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, please let me know when you're done, and we'll get you on the show, and we can talk about assassins and
yes, for sure. That'd be great.
All that kind of good stuff. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great.
Yes, ma'am. And just let us know when you're ready, and we'll go from there. Don't forget, Christine's information is in the episode in this episode we have transferred. Donna transferred the information for me, and so all of her, you can find her social media and her Amazon author page is linked. So you can check her paranormal and her romantic comedy, but I don't have her erotica linked, so
That's okay.
You'll have to scroll back and listen through to remember which name it is.
Oh, just go to Amazon, you'll see it.
There you go. Alrighty, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and you have a good evening. I look forward to chatting with you again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.